So Fresh and Fit's YouTube channel has been demonetized, man. It's tough. If I was Fresh or Fit right now, I would be sick because I know how much they put into this, and it's tough.
Sucky news.
Crazy news.
Yeah, crazy news, real talk.
Yeah.
Right now we're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. And guys, I mean,
is this the end, bro? Because we got some bad news, man. I mean, when I heard that, I was shocked because I mean, we love YouTube, man.
yeah,
We love streaming,
yeah,
and at this point, I feel like our whole lives are revolved around streaming and like
yeah,
adding value to people online. It's just like it won't be the same, bro.
yeah.
What we heard.
In 2020, guys.
So I do want to preface this by saying I don't like seeing anyone, like no matter who you are, lose their main source or mainstream of revenue or income. And I don't know if that is their mainstream, the YouTube show or their YouTube channel, but I'm willing to bet that it's one of them. And to lose that after you put in so much work into it, it's just it's tough to see. It's tough to watch. It's like, man, I just wish there would have been like things that they could have done before to not have reached this point. But I did always think that they would inevitably be removed from YouTube or demonetized, just because whether you agree with what they're saying or not, YouTube has policies. YouTube has a TOS, a terms of service, and if you break those terms, they withhold the right to remove you from their platform or demonetize you, everything everything else that's under their control. They have that right. And whether you think it's right or wrong it doesn't really matter, because this is the reality we're facing. The reality we're facing is that YouTube as a streaming platform has the ability to allow or not allow content creators that they want. And if you're not going to follow the terms that they have written out for people to follow to use their platform, then you don't get to use it. And it's that simple. Now, in Fresh and Fit's case, I don't know if they did something that like blatantly just breaks TOS or breaks policies, but I do know that they would kind of teeter the line like a lot of whether they would follow them, whether they would not. I know that there are things you just can't say on YouTube, and that's just that. And I know that they've like just teetered those lines, and I always thought YouTube was gonna bring down that hammer on them, but they were able to escape by for a while. But it's like it caught up with them, and you're in control of your own personal image. And when you do things that can jeopardize that image, or you're gonna post things that take away from your image or are at a detriment to your image, then these are the kind of outcomes that you get from that. And it's one of those things where you have to either say, okay, I'm gonna follow the rules and not say some of the stuff that I want to say online or on this platform, and I'm gonna be allowed on this platform, or I'm not gonna follow the rules. I'm gonna say whatever I want, even if the terms say I can't, and you get removed. And it's that simple. Now, does that mean I don't believe in freedom of speech? No, I think people should be allowed to say whatever they want. But the reality is that these are companies that have the right to allow who they want on their platform. And the idea that you alone are going to be able to go against this conglomerate, this huge entity as YouTube is, the idea that one channel alone or one person alone is going to be able to fight them and going to be able to change things is it's not how things are going to work out. It's just we have to face the reality we're presented with. The reality we're presented with is that you follow these terms, you say what are within the guidelines, you follow the guidelines, and you're allowed to stay. Don't follow them, they can not only kick you off, they can take away your monetization, they can do a plethora of things. They can blackball your channel. There's a plethora of things that YouTube can do to ensure that you are not allowed on their platform. And that's just that. Now, I know a lot of people already know who Fresh and Fit are, But if you don't, there are these two red pill gurus, is what a lot of people refer to them as. But there are two guys who are in the sort of manosphere of content creators, and they have two live shows. The morning one is sort of about men's health and politics and sport. They talk about a plethora of things on the first show. And the second show is the more notorious show. It's the after hour show. It's the one that gets clipped everywhere, one that's always going viral everywhere. And I'm pretty sure that show was also, they run it on multiple platforms, but that includes YouTube. And when you take away a platform as big as YouTube, that can really hurt revenue. So I know that this is hurting them bad.
Is really expensive, right? But I had that there for the show. Like, y'all see me, I wear the same clothes. You guys make fun of me. Myron, you wear the same stuff. You got no drip, blah, blah, blah. I do it because I'm like, yo, the only thing that matters is the pod. Like, I don't care about me looking good and being flashy and all that stuff. And Fresh was like, nah, I don't care about it either. Like, he gave up all his cars pretty much, watches, all that stuff. Cause we're like, bro, we need to be all in with the podcast. We need to invest in the podcast. And we invested more in recruiting, getting Chris the resources he needs. Cause we have like a whole operation with like getting girls on the show. Guys, it's extremely difficult.
Both Myron and Fresh, they both gave up everything for this, to pursue this career. Myron, he had his dream job in law enforcement, and he basically gave it all up just to do YouTube, to be able to pursue content creation. So I don't understand why they would jeopardize it, really, like by posting things or doing things that are not in the guidelines or not within the terms of service that YouTube has. And it's just, they've given so much. They put so much time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears into this podcast. I know they have. It's just, why would you throw that all away when you know that this is the reality you're facing? You must follow the guidelines, or you're not allowed on their platform. And it's just that simple.
So I left a job that I truly loved to do this, right? Because I shouldn't be admitting this, but saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
Now, a lot of people were saying these were crocodile tears, or they weren't tears because he didn't necessarily start break down and crying, but Myron got a little emotional talking about this and revealing that they had been demonetized. And a lot of people were saying, well, this is for clicks, for views. And I don't know. If he were to say that he was just truly feeling emotional in that moment, I would probably believe him, because they put everything into being able to be content creators and to be able to do a podcast. So it's probably a real emotional hit when you lose one of your channels that you've basically gave up everything for. It's just, when you lose monetization, my bad. Not lose one of your channels, their channel's still up, but lose monetization to one of your channels. It definitely can stir up emotions, and that's why I don't necessarily think that these were fake tears. Now, the whole saving you guys is way better than saving those kids. I don't know if he necessarily believes that, but I do think that his emotions were probably real in the moment, where he just talking about it probably got the feelings riled up inside. It's sad to see, man. It's sad that they have lost their monetization on this channel, but I hope this acts as a lesson to them that you can only post certain things on certain platforms, and on platforms where there are no restrictions, that's where you say whatever you want. That's where you really speak your mind and say things that you actually feel, because I think it's obvious that you can't just say whatever you want on YouTube, and it's really just how it is. That's the reality we're facing with.